Hey pretty people, how are you doing? My name is Neetu, and before we jump into this video, let me give you a glimpse of how my renting experience was here in Calgary. So for the first few weeks, when I moved from Toronto to Calgary, I stayed at my friend's place, which was also a basement. And I had to think that, okay, the basement is the way to go. It's cheaper and it's affordable and it's my starting point. So I started looking for basements around the city and I found one. Unfortunately, it was not in a good community and I didn't know about prime level of that community. I stayed in that basement for about 6 months and was kicked out. Guess why? Because I got myself my pet cat, Kali. You must have seen her in some of my other videos. My landlord didn't want me to keep the cat because he was totally against pets. That's a big headache for pet owners when it comes to renting. So I had to give 1 month of notice, move out and start my journey of renting again, start my search of renting again. And it was so difficult. I had to prove my employment and even they would have done a credit check, God knows. But I was really uncomfortable with all of people asking me how exactly is my credit history and how exactly has been my background been. You are a tenant and they are the landlord and they go by their rules. So I finally decided that basement is not the place where I want to be and I definitely don't want to stay in somebody else's house. So I started looking for an apartment. Many of those rental companies like Boardwalk or Rate, Minto, so they were all having their own prices, but the best one out of them and the affordable one that at that time was Boardwalk, and it was okay neighborhood. It was, the commute from that place to my workplace was pretty good, so we chose that place. And guess what? Whatever, the rent was increasing after every 6 months and it was already included into the contract that we signed the lease for. And the carpets were stinking, the kitchen was not up to date. The kitchen was so old and not updated. Everything was basically stinking in that apartment. They wanted us to pay at least 1,300 rent. Can you imagine? And then we started thinking about, why don't we build our own equity, start a place for ourselves where we can own something for ourselves. We are both employed and we have a good credit history and everything matches. And that's exactly when we started, because we were fed up and tired of all these landlords and the kind of rent that we had to pay on top of all their policies. And guess what? Another worst experience that I had with one of the landlord was he used to come inside the suite or in our apartment whenever he wanted, whenever, without giving us a proper notice. And that's completely unacceptable. It is required by law to give you at least 24 hours of notice, be it repairs, be it anything. He has to give you at least, he or she has to give you at least 24 hours of notice, which I did not get. So that's also one of the reasons why I decided to move out from there and consider my own property to live in. Another bad story of me renting was people who were living upstairs were partying day and night. Now you can imagine how my life was being a student and working part-time. It was as hell as it could be. So now that you know my story, let's dive into 5 main reasons on why you should own your own property. I will be talking about the reasons on why you should own and not rent. That's just because for you not to make the same mistakes that I did. Point number 1, if you're living in a city for more than 2 years, then you should stop renting and consider owning your place. The reason being, your landlord can keep on increasing your rent after every year, and that could be lots. Why pay somebody else's mortgage when you can have your own? And at the same time, how many communities are you going to jump within the same city? So consider owning your place and stop renting. Also, think about it this way. In the same city, if you are living in a rental place with your family, your kids would have to change schools. You would have to consider your commute length on how faster or how sooner you would have to get to work. All that factors play every single time. Point number 2, are you fed up of those stinky carpets and old kitchens? Then you have to have the courage to start searching for your own house. The reason I say is because I was in that place, in the same exact place that you are right now. So do yourself a favor. If you want to do that renovation or change the carpet or get your own kitchen or even have a modern bath, then you should consider owning a place. Point number 3, are you fed up of paying your laundry bills, your extra parking bills, your extra pet bills? Because when you own a place, you don't have to pay anything extra. Everything is going to be included on your condo fees. Point number 4, you increase your equity and your net worth. Have you seen my previous video that me and Igor did? If not, then check it out. You have to start somewhere, so you have to stop renting and consider owning your own. Remember, building your net worth is a long-term game. Any investment for that matter, be it real estate, be it stocks, or even bitcoins, everything investment wise is a long-term strategy. You will only reap the benefits once you have certain amount of years in your investment, so that your portfolio can minimize the growth ups and downs. Point number 5, are you someone who's into DIYs and renos? If so, then you can own your home and do your renos of your own bathroom or kitchen. That is not only going to increase the value of your home from when you bought it, you can also sell it at a higher price and jump onto a bigger house. So for those of you guys who stayed until the end of this video, I have an amazing helper for your mortgage if you're considering to buy a house. You can own a bungalow which has a basement suite that can actually be your mortgage helper. You can rent it out on Airbnb or on long-term lease, and that exactly can help pay your mortgage bills monthly. Do you know that if you buy a house that already has a basement suite that is legalized with the city, it can act as a rental offset, meaning you can be approved for a higher mortgage when you can prove the rental income from the basement that is already in there. Isn't that awesome? By the way, if you want to know more about rental offset and how you can qualify for a mortgage, contact me. I'm a licensed mortgage broker, and I will get that pre-approval for you to hunt your dream home. By the way, if any of you are considering to be an Airbnb host, I will leave the referral link in the description. So that's it from me for today. I hope you liked this video. If so, hit that like and smash that subscribe button, and see you in the next video.